Night Stalker roaming potential, silences, and the, I guess, lack of concern, seeing as that the hero is so tanky he can kind of dive an Ember Spirit, but I don't think that until Mousesports can prove that they know how to deal with these strong first phase, second phase picks from Team Secret, that they're not going to be afraid picking it.
You know what? I actually just thought about this. What if this is actually an offlane Zeus? We've seen offlane Zeus at TI. We've seen offlane Zeus in a couple of last few months, and it is one of FATA's signature heroes as well, right? Doom is definitely one of Puppey's signature heroes, so that would basically shift these heroes. So let's say it's like a Puppey Doom, YapzOr Spirit Breaker, and FATA Zeus.
I would like to see a Puppey Doom, that's for sure. Offlane Zeus, as you said, is not entirely unconventional, and they do end up going with that mid one Ember, but I can't actually remember the last time I've seen a Puppey Doom, to be honest.
It's certainly been quite some time, but it is definitely one of his sort of like older signature heroes. He used to run, these kind of very, he still runs these junglers, of course, but Doom definitely was one of them. And Mousesports answer with a Lich. More lane control, makes sense. And like you said, there's the Ember Spirit mid one of his signature heroes. A lot of aggression coming out, a lot of global gank potential, of course, as well, with the Ember Spirit and the Spirit Breaker. Are you concerned if your Mousesports that you... Are you concerned if your Mousesports that you don't... What?
You're scared as hell if you're Nature's Prophet this game, that's for sure.
You don't really have a good answer either, right? I mean, what are you really going to do if like a Spirit Breaker charges you? What's your response here? Night Stalker, I guess?
Night Stalker, or you just change your approach as a Nature's Prophet. Seeing as how I have been spending some time with the China region, they've been playing a very team-oriented Nature's Prophet. It's not this kind of pure split push business. In fact, they've been running like aggressive tri-lanes with Prophets in that region and stuff like that. So that kind of paradigm of Nature's Prophet's a hero that you basically, it's almost Broodmother style, that wherever your team is, that's where you're not. It's okay to get farm and then get team-oriented items like an Orchid, show up to team fights, push with 5 heroes, use Trinks as kind of like a distraction tool during these pushes. Seeing as how whenever you pick a Lich, you are basically shutting down the option of the enemy team split pushing, which right now Secret have terrible pushers. Zeus, Spearbreaker, Doom, Ember, these heroes cannot take structures at all. And you throw an Ice Armor on that, then you slow it down that much further. So I'm okay with Nature's Prophet joining up with Necro and Night Stalker and Lich and actually pushing as a unit rather than being left to his own devices and having to deal with this global gank presence of Spearbreakers, Zeus, and Ember.
So if you're a Secret, then you definitely highlighted, the lack of tower push. What would you pick here? What do you think sort of like fits that gap? Do you think a Lycan would be sufficient here? Does it even fit into the lineup?
Lycan would be nice. I actually am not 100% sure about Ace's hero pool. I can't say that I've seen it too much. What have you been seeing him playing throughout this qualifier?
Ace can play anything, really. Ace can play anything, yeah.
Anything.
There are obviously some, signature heroes, right, with the Broodmother, most notable one. But I've definitely seen him play virtually any carry at this stage. So I cannot imagine, or I can't think of a carry where I think to myself, wow, that's totally not an Ace hero. Like, he's played the very traditional farmers, he's played the very aggressive ones, he's played the weird ones that you usually see in either mid or offlane positions, so he's very flexible. I mean, he has played pretty much every core position at this stage as well. He started as an offlaner, I believe. He's played mid, that's for sure, so he's back to carry. See? Any carry.
Anything.
Any carry.
Anything. Okay. I'm okay with the Meepo. That hero can absolutely push. Obviously, it's the one that you need to be somewhat experienced on. More and more players are starting to realize the benefit of having a pocket Meepo. We've seen Arteezy practicing it a lot in FPL, and it's just, whenever you have that potential for a 5th pick Meepo, it's kind of like a 5th pick Broodmother, which has kind of fallen off because teams are more equipped to deal with these pocket Broodmothers. But pocket Meepo is still a carry hero that teams are not always ready for. And this Mousesports squad might be one of them. Necro is a hero that may not be able to deal with all this poof damage coming out, an early sheepstick coming out from Ace, and as great as Alchemist is, with Grievel's Greed accelerating his farm, oftentimes Meepo can keep the pace, if not outpace, an Alchemist.
And Mousesports don't really have any, I think that, the almost insta pick for the Meepo. I think Team Secret was very much prepared for something like this lineup from Mousesports because there's not a lot of control here either for the Meepo. Sure, they have damage, with the Lich ultimate and with the Necrophos ultimate, two ultimates that are technically nice against the Meepo, but outside of those ultimates, what kind of control do they have against the Meepo? None, basically. Maybe a great elf stun, but that's pretty much it.
No, it's minimal at best, and I imagine that it's probably... Well, okay, so Puppey did end up taking the Spearbreaker, FATA's going with the offlane Doom, so I'm curious how this Doom will build himself, because as it is, Meepo already has buffed up magic resistance inherently, and if they go for something like a pipe on... Puppey is known to get farms, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Spearbreaker ends up with a pipe, but I'm a big fan of Aura Horde Doom, where you just slap a bunch of pushing auras on him. He gets Shivas or pipes, and the creeps that he eats are always aura-oriented, and once secrets start 5-manning, there's not much that Mousesports can do against that, Meepo or otherwise.
Right, and we've definitely seen, FATA build very team-oriented items, right? He sort of popularized the, Troll, Warlord, Mech. So if there is a player that would probably build an early pipe on his Doom, it'd probably FATA.
Yeah, we'll see how he handles the lane itself, though. They're going to be sending Lich and Necro. It's going to be Thug on the Necro, so it's going to be a top safe lane Necro and Madara Alchemist in the mid lane, going up against mid one's Ember, and it's a somewhat even matchup in the mid lane between an Alchemist and Ember. Obviously, Ember Spirit is mostly magic damage for the most part initially, and Alchemist is a hero that is mostly physical damage with the acid spray and the right clicks and stuff like that. It's going to come down to the rotations of both these teams to find out who really comes out on top in the mid lane, with Mousesports having that Nature's Prophet global potential and the Night Stalker, but Secret being able to do the same thing with Spirit Breaker global potential as well.
Do you think that Mousesports can afford to leave Thug by himself here and have the Lich focus in the mid lane, or do you think that Lich should actually just leave Madara alone after, say, 1-2 minutes and then just head towards the top lane?
Yeah, I don't think they can afford to leave the Necrophos alone for very long. It's sometimes in your best interest as a Lich to just sacrifice the mid lane for quite a bit, make sure that not only is the enemy mid lane under-leveled, but they're also a long ways away from their bottles, so Madara gets an early bottle, can constantly keep the wave push with acid spray, and mid one's forced to last it under the tower, but if Puppey decides to spend time up here, which it looks like they're giving this offlane to Puppey while FATA goes and finds a creep to jungle with, as Dire has blocked their own hard camp to make sure Doom can't jungle in this top lane, so we'll see how much time Puppey spends up here, but if he keeps laning, then Necro's gonna need help.
For sure, though, at first, in terms of just the early last hits, he's doing quite well. But of course, he's drawing even with Puppey because this is very difficult to lane. And mid though, mid one just not really. Yeah, he's getting last hits, but he's eating through pretty much all of his regeneration. Actually, has to be careful here without the Pullman's shield. Alright, has his health though. Alright, he's fine.
Yeah, he's optimistically waiting for his bottle, but the more time that Spartan spends here, again, is the more time that he's not helping other lanes, which top lane with the Necro and bottom lane, you've got to be concerned. If you had two free-farming heroes, I'm way more scared of a free-farming Meepo than I am of a free-farming Necrophos, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure. 100%. At the same time, though, YapzOr has been sitting in lane here quite a bit. As I said, that he's moving away, but that is soaking up experience for this Meepo, which he obviously needs a lot of, so... I don't know, I expect YapzOr, would you expect YapzOr actually to move away from this lane anytime soon, or do you think he needs to be there for them not to dive the Meepo?
Them not to dive the Meepo, and for him to get experience in general. Zeus is a hero that can't really afford as nicely finds the Dire Ward on this cliff. He's a hero that can't afford to fall behind. It's very much often to how we see an Ancient Apparition played, in which they'll not really provide the best lane support, as Zeus is not great at zoning enemy heroes, but you've got access to both your jungle camps. You can get levels pretty much uninhibited, and once Meepo starts leveling up his Divided We Stand and
oh wait, top lane,
items,
looks like Puppey, yep, he's gonna die here. To this tower. They went aggressive, and, well, that's a tier 1 still, so a lot of damage.
And now FATA's kind of lost up here.
He's kind of stuck here, isn't he? Oh, he's gonna go out, but taking some damage and forced to use himself as well.
Yeah, attempted initiation with that Mud Golem, but didn't pan out. Early point Ghost Shroud, you've got that wand up. It's not easy to take him down with even the substantial amount of... Well, actually, they don't even have that much burst. Scorched Earth is a DOT, and you need a right-click to get your magic damage off as a Spirit Breaker, so a little bit optimistic going for that kill.
But they're gonna try again, or at least, you know, harass Thug out of the lane. With the charge going back out there. YapzOr, in the meantime, pulling the wave just to buy Ace some little bit of time.
Oh man, if Puppey gets one more bash, no luck.
He should be fine. Thug, that is. It's so difficult to bring down a Necro with a magic wand.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a Necro with no help. Lich has not felt the need to go up to the top lane at any point, just intent on stacking camps for the Alchemist in this bottom jungle for the Radiant, and sacrificing creeps constantly in the mid lane to make sure that Ember Spirit stays under-leveled.
To be fair, if they get away with this, that's a great laning stage for them. Oh, and mid one, just stealing the regen rune just away from Madara.
Definitely need that regen rune.
Yeah.
Alright, well Ace has now gotten his second Meepo up and running, leaving the non-primary Meepo in the bot lane to soak up some experience, and I'm curious what he'll go with this other Meepo. He actually did not take any points in Geostrike. I don't know how Ace opts to level up his Meepo, seeing as how it's not in a very aggressive lane, it's more of a defensive lane with the Zeus. Geostrike may be a bit optimistic because you're probably not going to get an opportunity to right-click a Nature's Prophet anyway, so might as well go for defensive and might as well maybe make a gank opportunity happen as he's sending his primary Meepo towards the mid lane, and...
I think he's just farming in his jungle, like in the safer jungle. Because the Night Stalker is very likely going to be in the other portion of in the other jungle, basically, or the main jungle. Right. So this is probably the safer place for him to farm. And you know, in addition to this being, or in addition to Geostrike being a bit ambitious, this also allows him to farm more efficiently with more points up in proof.
Well, more about the ensnare because ensnare is also yeah.
Well, yeah.
But Night Stalker is actually spending some time in the offlane. He got scanned out, and it's his first night, and it's already down to like a minute and a half, so let's see if maybe next time he's going to be able to find anything, because right now the lanes are looking pretty protected. YapzOr is not even showing himself in his bot lane, only to pick up last hits against this Necro. You have no idea where the Meepo is, despite having two pretty aggressive wards in the Radiant jungle on, two aggressive Dire wards in the Radiant jungle, but now he does see Meepo, but again, like you said, Meepo's farming in very safe territory.
Maybe next time, trying to find FATA here. Probably not gonna get him. In fact, oh no, Puppey's coming in, but that's a long charge. And it's on the Night Stalker, no less.
He just wants to get to the top lane, yeah. Charge or otherwise.
Oh, the TP coming in though. They're gonna go into FATA again with the Sprout. He doesn't have a way to eat himself out of there. And this is a Doom, low armor, and with the Reaper's Scythe. Well, it's just an easy kill for him.
Yeah, Skylark's got full phase boots completed. He's ready to start dealing damage.
You know, that's sort of one of the things which it's really interesting that, you know, everybody just agrees that this is pretty much the best build you can get. You know, you start off with boots, immediately go to phase, and then Orb of Venom. Though after that, I think there's a lot of different ideas. Oh, mid lane looks like that's a dead Spartan. Should certainly be. It is. Yeah, the point I was getting into. Oh. Ace is not giving me enough time, or maybe next time rather. Is that a solo kill? It is. Solo kill on the Meepo. Well, that's a great nighttime now.
It's a very great nighttime. He gets level 4 off of that, and your aggressive wards are paying off. Yeah, you do have several options as a Nature's Prophet. Initially I was very skeptical of the Orb of Venom build, but the idea is that you want the harass. It's not so much the slow, which is negligible on ranged heroes, it's the fact that you get basically 12 magic damage. I mean, sorry, you get 15 magic damage on every right click, but 12 after reductions, so it's basically a lane-dominating item, which is weird as it sounds, because it used to be that Blightstone was the go-to, or maybe Windlace would be more useful, or maybe he wishes he had a Windlace as he's getting charged right now, but cancelled.
That's getting cancelled though. Ace is still here and does have a net, but looks like they're not going to commit for this kill. They could steal away the stack though. Yeah, YapzOr already starting. Well, unfortunate for Secret, of course. Their Spirit Breaker ganks so far. I mean, he is almost level 5, but he hasn't really been that successful in terms of ganking actual people.
No, maybe next time has been doing a good job dictating the pace, going after that Meepo, going to the top lane with that Necro. Spear Breaker has been following the Night Stalker, and it hasn't been the other way around. And often, I mean, it's during nighttime, so you usually don't have the luxury as a Spear Breaker to be like, no, 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 we're gonna gank this lane, you're gonna have to come to the lane that I'm going to. No, Night Stalker decides where you go, and right now maybe next time's doing a good job, but mid one was uninhibited during that entire nighttime. He ganked Meepo, he ganked the Doom, but Ember Spirit remains unaffected, and mid one's keeping a pretty solid pace going, despite having that Lich in his lane so early on. He is out, or not out leveling, but he's keeping the pace with the Alchemist pretty well.
I mean, and it is an Alchemist. It's really difficult, you know, to actually catch up and farm. But as you said, Ember Spirit is doing the best as he can, and already highest net worth right after the Alchemist. So it was pretty good for him. And it looks like they're going to look for a gank with him as well, with the Spear Breaker smoked up. They really need this Necrophos, ideally. Though, looks like Spartan might just be the sacrificial lamp here.
Yeah, he's gonna pop the smoke, has no idea, but he'll take that trade.
They're gonna go for the Necro anyway. Screw this Lich.
They've got Doom. And Spartan does not have Chain Frost. He's so close to level 6, but does not have it.
Well, they can't find Thug. They can't find Thug, he's just gonna TP out. Oh boy. They thought they could get him, but... well, in the end, maybe it would have been better for mid one actually to focus on Necrophos as well, though. As you said, with Lich being so close to level 6, you really just don't want to give them that free ultimate either.
Yeah, that charge connected, and then after that, Necro disappeared into those trees, and no way of easily getting to it, as Ember Remnant would be the easiest, but he was too busy killing the Lich, and Necro gets out scot-free. Doom still has yet to be used, and FATA's trigger finger is itching, I imagine.
I bet it is, and Thug even doing the right thing, TPing straight to the bottom lane, not to base, so this way they can push, and this T1 tower already down to half HP. YapzOr is here, you know, to slow it down, but this is just... oh, there's a rotation with the Doom used as well onto the Necrophos. He is getting pretty low, and this should be a dead Thug. But where's the follow-up? Can they find anybody else?
Darkness is activated. You can't see a goddamn thing right now.
And Puppey's actually charging right next to the Night Stalker. Doesn't see him. There's good vision from the Night Stalker as well. That ward is pretty nice. Next to the shrine.
Yeah, the warding from Mouse has been exceptional this game. It was able to find that Meepo early on, farming in his jungle, and I mean, it's not easy. We saw that Zeus was able to get one counter ward out, but they've been doing a good job. It's now some aggressive movement on the mid lane.
Oh, the silence is up on the Ember Spirit. They have to be careful. There's a Reaper, so I think that's a dead Ember Spirit. Down for 40 seconds. And FATA gets sprouted up as well. He still can't eat through a goddamn tree. He's stuck, but does have face boots up, and he's gonna be fine. It's a dead Ember Spirit for 40 seconds. He's doing so well. Halfway to his BOTs as well.
Yeah, he wishes he had them, but this is a valuable time that Alchemist is going to widen the gap right now. He has already completed his Relic and is well on his way to finishing off the Radiance. Madara is getting an exceptional amount of farm done because he has not really been bothered by Spirit Breaker. I kept saying, oh, Ember Spirit wasn't getting bothered by Night Stalker. Same thing was true for the Mousesports mid. As Spirit Breaker Puppey, he's just been, you know, sticking to the side lanes for the most part.
Question is, can this Alchemist carry them here in this game against this lineup as well? I mean, they have quite a lot of damage, and with the Doom, of course, as well. And there's, you know, there's ways to shut this Alchemist down. So as I say that, can't really kill him right now either, just yet either.
You're gonna depend on the Meepo. Ember Spirit's here to make room in the mid game. You get BOTs early on so that you can constantly drag the Night Stalker and the Nature's Prophet, or at least like continue to make sure that the Nature's Prophet can't split push. So mid one's job is to create space for this Ace Meepo, who has been doing fine, has gone for the double Wraithband build. There are different schools of thought of how you should build Meepo. We sometimes see double Dragonlance, single Dragonlance, Aquila, all these different kinds of progressions, but I actually think that double Wraith into Blink Dagger is one of the least frequently seen, but that means that you want a combat-oriented Meepo, not just a pure split-farming Meepo.
I mean, they do have a good lineup to combat early on with as well. You know, Spirit Breaker, Ember Spirit. There's a lot of mid-game aggression they could put out if they wanted to.
There's a lot of mid-game aggression, but there's also a lot of mid-game defense coming out from Mousesports. You've got, again, the vision coming out from Nightstalker. You've got the global presence of the Nature's Prophet. You've got Necro with heals for days, and Thug has been farming pretty well. He's got his Veil completed. He's going to be going for a Hood next to, I guess, tank up against all this Flame Guard damage, all the Poof damage, all the Zeus damage. So Mousesports, I think, are itemizing very well right now.
Should they be building a pipe on their team? I mean, we talked about the pipe on the Doom, but should Mousesports get a pipe as well?
I don't think it's entirely necessary. Your team is pretty tanky as it is. Alchemist is a hero that doesn't really struggle too much with, like, full-on aggression until, like, late-game situations. And even your support heroes are relatively tanky, with Lich having the power of Ice Armor. Yeah, it's not great against magic damage, obviously, but it still helps you against any stray right-clicks coming out from, like, the Doom or the Meepo itself. So I don't think a pipe is entirely necessary, only if you're concerned of Zeus getting out of control with, like, you know, Thundergod's Wrath. And they're giving YapzOr some room, but not enough to worry about yet.
Alright. Mid 1, in the meantime, doesn't know that there's two people right around him, smoked up. They kept the silence off here, but they definitely need more damage. Yep, Prophet already TP's in. Reaper's size should be there. Easy kill. That's rough, man. That's so rough if you're an Ember Spirit. I mean, you have to farm this aggressive. It's not even that aggressive, right? It's still on your side of the river, but you have to farm there, but you can't really either. That's really rough. But it's on the rest of Secret to, you know, use the space that has been created as a result. And I guess in a sense, like you pointed out earlier, Ace has been doing pretty well for himself. Does have the Blink Dagger already, and is sitting there at 6.3k net worth.
Have yet to use the Blink Dagger, though. I mean, maybe he's using it for mobility in the camp, but you don't want to be playing anti-mage as a Meepo right now with the Blink Dagger. You want to be getting kills, and maybe next time, again, has been doing a great job of being in the right place at the right time. If they weren't able to get that silence off, there's no way that a straight Scythe initiation would have been able to pick off that Ember Spirit, and now he's heading to the top lane. Again, now following FATA, but he's a pretty speedy Doom right now with drums and the phase boots completed.
And has the Shadow Blade queued up, so he's gonna get even faster later on. It's... What do you feel? I mean, you know, Doom itemizations are... I think you could itemize Doom pretty much any way you want, and there's lots of different builds, but how do you feel about this build? Do you think this is great for them, so, you know, adds to their sort of, like, gank potential on their team, or do you think other items could have been better? I mean, we did discuss the pipe early on, but how do you feel about the items?
They're pretty much banking on the fact that Meepo's going to be able to take them late, so they want someone to initiate, be it the Ember Spirit, the Spear Breaker, or the Meepo, and then they want this Doom to kind of sneak around and find a... Right now it's going to be the Necro to Doom, and later on it's going to be the Alchemist to Doom, but they don't want to have to deal with that. If you have all this early aggression, you want to make sure it doesn't get cut in half by some random heals or Reaper Scythe taking out one of your allies and stuff like that, as now.
It's like we're going to have two ganks at once. There's just on to be Doom, but he's not the one getting caught out, and that's the blink on the poof. That's the Dead Alchemist. Without the Doom. Oh, actually no, they did use the Doom. Never mind. Can they find more kills? They can. 3 kills in total. And Spartan looks
maybe
quite juicy as well. Yep. Chains are up, but looks like no, mid one is going to use them now. Not going to save him. Oh, there's a charge on top. Is this a 5th kill? Just like this? There's no cheats to follow it up, though.
He's out of mana.
He's pretty tanky.
Hood. Well, Thug is staying and defending, but yeah, he's not going to go down, but there's no way he's going to get anything in return.
Well,
Puppey charges
still
up.
4 heroes down, though, for Mousesports. Unfortunately, for Secret, looks like they can't really push this into a tower, or can they? If they find Thug here, maybe they can. Ace is here with a blink.
If Doom was available, then they would have, but Doom being spent on that Alchemist meant that... I mean, the fact that they were able to get even more than just the Alchemist, that was just gravy. Nightstalker popped in, but the Spearbreaker was able to successfully charge onto them, and then Lich was on the run after the Nature's Prophet went down, but too much aggression coming out from Secret, and this is why they itemized the way they did. FATA with this drum and the phase boots means that no one's really getting away from you, because you've had too much move speed. Obviously, same thing for BOT, Ember, and Blink Dagger Meepo. This is a team that doesn't want to let you leave if you are just ever so slightly out of position. Wow. Diffusal Blade next for Meepo. This is... I've never seen this Meepo build before.
I wonder if this is just because of Necro, though.
That's a good point.
I, too, haven't seen this build, so I just have to assume it is based on the Ember, but odds are this is just how Ace itemizes his Meepo. I don't think so, but yeah, it's they definitely needed somebody to get that diffusal blade up, and I believe Meepo is probably the best hero to get it in this game.
I
mean,
I think that's debatable.
Who else would you pick it on? The Ember Spirit?
Ember Spirit's possible. I've been seeing, especially against Necro specifically, because it allows you to solo kill a Necro, which, I mean, sometimes you have enough magic burst that the Ghost Shroud, obviously Ember doesn't do the biggest right clicks, but sometimes you need that little bit of slight damage at the end or something like that. But Doom as well, like Doom is a hero that you can build like practically any item on, and it usually works out. The main thing is just because, again, I'm worried about Meepo's late game potential, because Blink Dagger, it's a core item for sure, and it'll remain like until he's 6-slotted pretty much. But the Diffusal Blade is an item that does not really help out your secondary Meepos very much. You rarely have problems getting kited with Geostrike, so the slow isn't that great, and it's not like it's an agi item, but still, I feel like it's an item that'll get dropped quickly on a Meepo most of the time by the time you get to 6 slots, and I guess maybe they're not too worried about Alchemist, they're mainly worried about the Necrofoe, so might as well itemize for your biggest threat as they find Thug. Doom is available.
Should be a dead one. They use the Doom as well. Oh, that's a dead one. You should die, right? He's dead.
Oh, yeah, he's dead.
Oh, the TP still go through, so they choose to fight this, but Meepo's there. That's a dead Lich. Is that a dead Alchemist? No, it's a dead Doom for now. Ultimate is still bouncing through, and oh my god, Medara lives on through with the armor toggle as well. Do they get Puppey here? Doesn't seem... Oh, no, with the Radiance Burn.
Radiance Burn.
Very favorable trade for Mousesports. They survive on the Alchemist and get the Meepo kill. That Lich ultimate's so strong.
Yeah, it's rare that you'll see a support that's like level 9, and when you're a Meepo that's level 17, you're like, oh god, the support's coming, but Lich is one of those heroes. God damn, that Chain Frost it did not quit, but I mean, you're diving without a creep wave, so there was pretty much no chance of a Chain Frost like errantly bouncing to a target you didn't want it to, so a little bit over-aggressive by Secret, and Meepo gives up a hell of a lot of experience. Like I said, dude is level 17 right now, and that Alchemist is more than happy to take that. And now they're gonna go in for Roche.
I think the thought process behind that initiation was like, wow, we got Necrophos, we're outnumbering them, let's take him, right? But this Alchemist is so tanky, and if they already blow Doom, I'm not sure they have enough damage to really kill him. Oh, that's a silence onto mid one, and mid one has to be careful. He's gonna get burst down with the Reaper as well. That was interesting.
Optimistic.
Yeah, very optimistic. It's a nice way.
He does not have a Linkens, and he was playing as if he did have a Linkens. He's not even going for Linkens, he's going for Radiance. I don't think that they can do anything about this Roche.
Looks like they still want to though. Ace is definitely in here, gets the net onto 2 with the charge coming in through as well. FATA is in them from behind. Lich falling very low, but there's the Alchemist with the stun. They still get the kill into Lich, but where's the follow-up? Doom is gonna die, and Spirit Breaker is all by himself. The buyback from mid one, in fact. And he's gonna jump in as well, gets the chain onto 2, but with the Mantis Style, nope, that's that Alchemist still on. In the meantime, Meepo finishes the Roshan and gets the Aegis. Mousesports has been robbed. They even forced out the buyback from Madara, and now he wants to kill. This has to be worth it, right? No, it doesn't seem to be.
That's pretty worth. It's, I mean, oh, you mean the Alchemist buyback?
The Alchemist buyback was not worth it.
Yeah, no, that was not worth. That he was basically, it was a panic buyback. He died, and he was just like, wait, wasn't Roche at like 10% HP? I need to finish off that Roche. But if he had seen that, like you can look at the kill log, and you can see that the buyback was like, well, I guess the times don't show, but it was basically right after Meepo picked up that Aegis. And if he had a little bit more time to decide, there's no way that he would have bought back after Roche goes down. So, well played by Ace for a quick recovery. It's a lot of buybacks. I mean, oh wow.
Yeah, Lich tried to be a bit sneaky, trying to get the bounty rune, but yeah, not with the Ember Spirit around.
So Ember has to buy back, but I guess his purpose was to tank the Scythe, so that Meepo didn't have to worry about Scythe.
Pretty much. And I wonder if that was planned though, right? I wonder if that exact scenario was planned.
I am skeptical.
I'm very skeptical as well, but it still worked out for Secret. And hey, if we look at the net worth graph, hey, it jumped up again. So Secret are only behind 2K, considering there's an Alchemist in the game. That's very great for Secret. If they find the skill on the Alchemist as well, they're in such a good position. Oh, and he gets rooted, in fact, with the Doom on top. Can they kill him? Where's the damage, though? Still, everybody's very far out. Ember Spirit has to jump in from very far in. They do find the kill, and there's a chain onto the Nature's Prophet as well. But I'm not sure they can pursue this any further. Oh, just kidding. There's a Spirit Breaker charging through. Skylark is dead. Puppey even pursues it in the base. Nope. Oh, that's a chain
Nice
onto the neck
chains.
That should get them another kill. 3 dead on the side of Mousesports.
This aggression build has yet to be punished. All of these move speed mobility items that Secret have built seem to be working out, and the one situations in which it usually doesn't work out is something like a Roche fight, but somehow they managed to make it look like that was their intention. Just constantly throwing bodies into the pit and stealing the Aegis right from under the noses of Mousesports, so... I mean, Ace still has his Aegis on this Meepo, so they can continue to go for more aggression. Probably not high ground yet, but you can continue reducing the amount of map control that Mousesports have by taking these outer towers.
Yeah, and they already pinged out the bottom tower, bottom tier 2, I believe, so that's definitely the one they're going to be taking next. Alchemist is still dead for another 20 seconds, so Mousesports unlikely to contest. How does Mousesports take teamfights in this kind of scenario, though? Like, you know, going forward, because Secret likely will still try to force at least another fight with this Aegis, but how does Mousesports take on that fight?
It'll have to be cleaner initiation every single time. I mean, I haven't really seen Mousesports start a fight on their terms, pretty much. They're always reacting to fights. Aside from the first 10 minutes, where maybe next time was always roaming around ganking, since then, it's always been Secret figuring out when and where we're gonna fight. So, Mousesports are equipping themselves accordingly. The full pipe has been completed on Necrophos, as you suspected, so they're gonna be better equipped to deal with the Zeus, the Ember Spirit, all that magic damage that's coming out, and as we saw Nature's Prophet trying to escape, he has an Orchid completed, but it wasn't enough as it was 3v1 as that Nature's Prophet was escaping, but if you get the initiation, then all of a sudden Ember Spirit is looking a lot less scary if you can't cast any spells, so Mouse need to determine their own fights, and when you're smoking up like this, you're hoping you can find something, but all of these Secret heroes are evacuating the premises.
Yeah, and it doesn't, you know, we praise, or you praise the Mousesports' vision in the early stages of the game, but if you look at their vision right now, the map is completely dark. They don't have any vision, so their smoke right now is a defensive one, if anything, right? They're, if anything, they're just waiting. Oh yeah, hey, there's a juicy alchemist here. You want to jump in? No. And now they're looking for maybe something, but they're not going to find anybody, so... Bit of a wasted smoke, but at the same time, I can't really blame them either, because, again, there's no vision for them to really take advantage of. Though, as I say that, Skylark did TP top and just placed the ward there, so finally some vision on the map.
I don't really know who's gonna use that ward, though.
Yeah.
At most, you'll be able to figure out where Meepo's, like, rotating and stuff, but then Nature's Prophet's the only hero that can do anything about that. No one else is gonna go all the way across the map to gank someone, at least, especially at daytime, which is gonna be another 3 minutes of daytime, so Secret have got a few more minutes to do basically whatever the hell they want right now.
And like you said, this aggressive build, or not even aggressive, but this sort of... Well, yeah, the aggressive build on Secret is getting unpunished, you know. There's still not Lincoln's on the Ember Spirit. He just finished his Radiance. And, I mean, we saw it. When he does get caught out, he melts. Like, there's so much damage on Mousesport's side, and so much physical damage as well, to make sure that he dies, but, I mean, good luck picking him off in the first place.
Yeah, and there's a little bit more mitigation now. FATA is working his way towards that hood, so that'll help. Yules has been completed on YapzOr Zeus, so that's also a tool to help potentially a unstable concoction interruption, something like that. So Ember Spirit is not going to get punished yet, as Skylark tries to cut this and take this mid-tier 1, and he's going to be successful, but...
Madara, there's an Invis Doom in the nearby, and he does get Doom indeed without his ultimate. So he's just gonna die really quickly. There's no buyback on him as well. 3 heroes dead. It's just Rax. It probably is just Rax, right? Rax. It cannot fight without the... Yeah, it's just Rax. Maybe even double Rax. I mean, this is Meepo we're talking about.
They've got tier 2s up still, unfortunately, but it looks like Meepo is one step ahead of the game, as now Meepo's plowing down through this mid-Rax. Aegis has been claimed, though, so they're not gonna have that. I don't think they're concerned.
It's still perfect.
Dude, all the trees are all jacked up for me. It was all zigzag, and I was just like, what the hell just happened? But yeah, no vision for the Rex. And yeah, now it looks like there's a second Rex on the menu. Alchemist is dead for 40 seconds still.
Wait, this is just... No, there's another... Well, the tier 2 is preventing Mega Creeps. That's the upside for now, but you still lost 2 lanes of Rex. And Secret is still very much in fighting shape. If they wanted to, they could fall back, smoke up, and just wait for, you know, the Alchemist to be back up again. They do have nice vision inside the base as well.
That high ground ward, like, very rarely are you able to place a high ground ward like that, but I would assume that it was the Spearbreaker who was able to get away with it, so credits to Puppey, but yeah, this game went from 0 to 60 pretty quick.
Very quick. If you look at the net worth graph as well, it's
yeah.
One wild
quite the change, and it's not like Secret were in control the whole time. You see that it was underneath. It was on the Mousesports side for like the first 25 minutes of the game, and then whoop, all the way to the opposite direction. 16k in the opposite direction.
Yeah, and they're 16k ahead despite there still being an Alchemist, right? This is absolutely insane. Well, they do find him with the silence, and well, Reaper Sight is not going to finish the kill, but it does secure it, likely. Yeah, it should. You don't get the Reaper Sight kill, but you do get the kill, which is the most important part here.
Yeah, it was necessary. It was daytime, and so the silence duration from Crippling Fear wouldn't have been that long. Orchid was about to take out, might as well use the Scythe for the stun duration, and able to pick up a kill. And it's, you know, you'll take what you can get, you end a kill streak. You give it to Lich, which isn't, you know, the best option, probably. But Spartan's probably unhappy about that, because, like, you know, in a selfish environment, he does not need the gold one bit. He is pretty broke, but, like, what's he gonna do to win this game is the question. Is they can initiate onto a
lane. There's a fight for sure. There's a Doom on the Alchemist again. There's no net to connect it just yet, though. But they're still chasing him with the Nether Strike on top of it. Is this gonna be the end of Medawra's Alchemist? It is. Dead for 70 seconds. If they find the Stug here, this might just be GG, because none of them have
a lot of things. Yeah, it's the end in general.
Oh boy.
Secret. I told you, they've been making Europe look free.
They really did, and you know, they have so many heroes that you need to look out for as well. It's absolutely insane. They forced Mousesports to ban the Chen in this game, and then they just, you know, grab a Mipro after Mousesports already banned, like, what, the Brute Mother, which is yet another sort of like pocket pick from Secret. So this team is, you know, when they're